The system development life cycle is divided in different phases. Some people recognize them differently, but in this video we will identify the first two as the analysis and the design phase, which are going to be explained ahead. The analysis phase consists of identifying and understanding the needs and difficulties in a system that can be improved. Which are the problems? What would be easier if we made a change in the system? Or if the actual system is working as is expected or needed. To be able to understand and identify this, it is necessary to observe, without intervention, how the staff works, apply surveys, questionnaires, and interviews to the different current users of the system that might benefit from a system improvement. For instance, the staff that uses the system to perform their jobs or that need a new system, and to inspect user guides or data capture forms in order to see how the system had been functioning. Any registry of the process of building up or functioning is useful and must be analyzed in order to notice what can be improved. The system analyst must work together with the client to find the flaws and what can be improved. Also, it must be analyzed if a change in the system may improve or decrease the performance of certain tasks and if it's economically convenient to the client. All of this must be presented to the client in order for him to decide whether he wants it or not. Taking as an example, a library that asks to a software designer company for a system renovation to improve the functioning. During the analysis phase, they must work together to find specific problems. The company could send someone to supervise for a certain amount of time the staff performance, how they do to lend books, for example, without participating. Just by taking notes and observing, they must identify some important qualities to maintain and to change. For example, if the manual inscription to a database of the information from the user and the books takes a lot of time, they already know that a new system should be able to speed up the process. Also, they can ask through interviews or surveys to the staff or the people that lend books from the library, if they consider the system works properly and how the process is being slowed down or becoming ineffective. The company should verify it as well with user guides or data capture forms like code screenshot database or code programming that reveal how the system had been working. Finally, they will come up with a conclusion that they should discuss with the library to proceed with the next phase. The following phase is the design phase. Once the problems have been identified, the company must propose the solutions to be incorporated in the new system. So include with these solutions the requirement specifications must be identified too. They must answer to questions like which software can we use to work with the new system, which hardware can hold and allow the functioning of the kind of software we intend to use, what kind of data do we want to introduce, numbers, names, what do we want to do with this, what do we want users to see once the data has been processed, a table, a database. Based on the answers, a prototype can be made, a basic scheme or diagram of how the system would look like, how would it work. While the system is being made, in the diagrams are drawn, defining what code could be suitable for coding for the system requirements is also possible. Of course, all of this must be discussed and approved by the purchasers and the customers. And finally, there must be a testing plan as well. Once the system starts to be implemented, there must be a way of testing every fundamental feature individually. At the end of the design phase, you must already know how the system will be tested. This means establishing how the system is supposed to respond to extreme data, invalid data, and typical or normal data. In the example of the library, the company must tell the library what flaws they found and indicate how a new system could improve a solution, could provide a solution. While this is done, schemes must be made with ideas from both the company and the library. At the end, they should establish what specific programming language would be suitable for the development of the system, like Ruby or other programming language. And then, after all of this is solved, they can proceed to the implementation. The system development life cycle is divided in